Hey everyone, in this video I'll take you behind the scenes on how I use the CRM in my agency. So I'm moving my old CRM from Notion to Close, and I'll show you how I'm setting up everything, including the automations and flows that I do with it step by step. So I'm using Close, as I told you, but this works with any CRM, so you can take ideas from this and implement it on your own. I'm not going to show you all the opportunity pipeline and leads and contacts because I already started passing information there, and I have leads and clients that I obviously will not show you, but I did this explanation or this example for you to have an idea on what happens. So you can see everything the same way. Here is the pipeline for the opportunity, and we can change the pipeline so you will have an idea as I explain all of this. We will be using Make for all the automations, and I will put in the description the files for you to also be able to automatically do this on your own, and you just need to copy the files into your own make.com accounts, and you can just then change the details. So let's start. First, I start with this booked meetings call. I have already a video going over how to set up exactly the beginning of this. So when you receive a meeting, you get notifications on Slack, and this is just the addition of also updating the CRM in the meantime. So if you want to go more in detail on how to set up the base for this, go watch that video, because I will not go over how to do it from scratch, and especially how to do all of this Slack notification part. Because as you can see, I have here when a call is booked, I receive a message on this. This is just a test channel, but this is to replicate what we have on the main channels. And we have here the discovery call with name from company is scheduled for whatever date it is, and then some information, and also the buttons that you can start doing actions directly from Slack. And so I go over all of these in a previous video, so if you want, you can go check it out. So yeah, I'm using Call. You can do this also with Calendly, Google Calendar, whatever other calendar booking platform you're using. But the first step is to route this into which call is being booked. So as soon as, well, actually not on this part, but as soon as someone books a call in my calendar, and that link was for the intro call, we immediately create here a lead in the CRM. So we pass the company name for the lead name, and how we do this is we have this payload from the event that created the call, and we look for, you can see here, user field responses, and there was company name, and we just grab here the value. So this would be like this, and you just click value, and it will appear. We also populate the status for this lead. So we want to say that this lead is interested, and we add the contacts for the lead, so the name and email for the person. And that's basically it. We also add actually the company size, because we ask a bunch of questions, not a bunch, but a couple questions on the call page, on the booking call page. And so that's company, number of employees, company name, and how much they're making per month, and also some other questions. And here we pass the call date, because we want to send emails reminding them when the call date is, and the URL for the call also to send on those reminders. After that, we create an opportunity that we attach, of course, to that lead, and we pass that opportunity status to discovery call. So that's the deal pipeline that you see on the CRMs, and it would be like this. So discovery call would be here. After that, we put also the confidence for this opportunity at 25%. So that's just the scale that we're using at Scaling Studio. It's based on previous calls and previous clients that we've had. So as soon as someone books the intro call through our specific links, there's a 25% chance that it's going to end up in a deal. And then the value. So we have here, it's average 2,500 monthly, but in Close, you have to add these 2 zeros to pass it at 2,500. Otherwise, it would be just $25 or euros or whatever currency you're using. We put the value as periods, but you can put whatever it is, one time, annual, doesn't matter. And that's it for the opportunity. After that, as I briefly showed before, we just send this message that you see here on Slack with the call booked, information about the leads, like their monthly recurring revenue, what is their biggest challenge is also one of the questions we ask. We link to the CRM, and yeah, we add when it's the date, the company name, and their name. And then here it's the buttons, that each button will then trigger a different flow also on make. But again, that is a completely other video just going over this. We do that for every single call. So intro call, strategy call, proposal call, and the onboarding call. And it gets updated. Well, it gets sent here. So each call gets their own message and their own, let's say, buttons that we can do actions from. And it gets here automatically updated on the CRM. So as you can see, it was imported via API. And then we immediately send them an email saying, hey, name, it's Andrea, founder of Scaling Studio. I wanted to confirm our intro call on the day, and that is why we're passing here that information on the leads for, where is it? Here, the call date, and we need to format this date. So if you don't know, you grab here the start time, which is this one, but you have to format it before because it's appearing as this one here. So what you want is to pass just, let's say for me, the day and month. And so you have to format the date using this function here called format dates. And then you just map everything. But I explained that in my previous video if you go see it. So we pass that on the information, so that is used for the email. Now, how do we trigger this email? I have a bunch of workflows here. And the first one, so I'm just setting all of these up. As I told you, I'm moving from Notion. I looked at a bunch of CRMs and tried a bunch of them, like Attio, Pipeline, Folk. We really liked Folk, but the automations for the emails that were very important for us weren't just well automated as we wanted. So we end up with Close, which is super good one. So here, this is how we do the confirmation for the discovery call. We have always a trigger, as in every CRM, and we trigger it every time a lead matches current status interested. So that is the update that we did here on Make. As soon as that happens, we send them an email with the confirmation and more informations. And well, I'm not going to show you that part because you can do whatever email sequences you want, and I bet you already have also your own. Then let's pass for the reminders that they get before the call. So we have another make scenario here, and this is done with a mail hook, which I also explained in another video. And this basically waits for an email notification or a notification to be received on a specific email from Make. And then we get this trigger, basically. So we pass on that email, we pass on the subject line what is the email that booked the call, so that we can just grab immediately the subject and pass it here on this search for leads. So we're going to search for what is the lead's ID that has this email, basically. And then once we know the lead ID, we can update the leads based on that specific ID. And we pass these custom fields of send 24-hour reminder, yes. So this is what's inside Close triggers our call reminders. So if we go here, we can see that the trigger is lead matching, send 24-hour reminder, yes. And it starts taking, it sends immediately a 24-hour call reminder. Then we also have a 4-hour reminder and a 1-hour reminder, which basically is quick maths of 20 hours after this 24-hour one, it's 4 hours before the call. And 3 hours after the 4-hour one is 1 hour before the call. And this is, for example, where we put the URL for the call that, if you remember well, we just also added it here when we booked the intro calls. And for all the other notifications for calls, we don't do them in Close, we do them directly in Call. If you're using Calendly, you would do them directly in Calendly. So there's no other notifications for these ones because there's no need. We already got the lead. We book a meeting from a meeting. So we book strategy call from intro call. We book proposal call from strategy call, and so on. And then, so for those, we just need to have the native notifications. That's how we set up these reminders and this confirmation. For the other flows, like if the leads didn't show up to the meeting, or they aren't ready to start after, let's say, a strategy call or a sales call, they say that they're not ready yet. Or we did a strategy call or sales call and they still want to think, so we didn't close that call immediately, or we didn't close that lead immediately on the call, we trigger one of these 3 sequences. So how do we do that? It's yet again another make flow, of course. And this is what happens. So the trigger is to watch when an opportunity status changed. So on the pipeline, we can change, of course, we pass the opportunity from discovery call to strategy call to sales meeting booked, etc. And every single time it passes through either Nourish, what was it? It's Nourish, pending decision, and no show, we trigger something. So as I can show you here, let me push this one here. When the status of that opportunity, what the new status for that opportunity is no show, we update the leads specifically with a no show status. So because again, we send emails to leads, not to opportunities. So if we move this from discovery call to no show, let's see if it will do it automatic, because I did it already before. So I don't know if it will do it, but yeah, okay. Its status changed from interested to no show. So it should, if I reload the page, it will show here as no show. Yeah. And as soon as this no show starts, let me show you here also. Here we have this notification on Slack saying that the lead didn't show up to the call, and also here the link for the CRM. What happens also that it's not being triggered because they are already, from my tests, they are already on that call, is this here. So as you can see, the email was already triggered. That's why it didn't trigger again when I was doing tests, but I sent them an email saying, hey, just wanted to check in since you missed our call today. And that is the trigger that I was talking about. So if we go to no show flow and check the trigger, it is lead matching all of current status equals no show. And then you do also that for all the other sequences that you want to send. So Nourish and pending decision. So it's exactly the same flow. If you want to add more, you can add more by clicking here on the router. And you can see here that, let me just show you this for you to see better. The status equals pending decision. We trigger exactly the same thing we triggered here, but all you need to do is change the status ID and also the message that you want to send on Slack. And then the same thing for Nourish. So all of these triggers would start the workflow for the email, for the respective email sequence. And then again, the little buttons that we have here would trigger specific flows inside Make. That is part of another video that you can go check out. So I hope you found this video useful, and I hope you can implement some of these things in your own CRM. And if so, subscribe to the channel and leave a like, because I will be doing one video per day every day, or I'm already doing it every single day for this month. And it's all about how to improve and optimize operations and systems for your own business using AI, automation, and data analytics. So if you liked it, please leave a like, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.